Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's session is going to focus on how to find Rotunda and Nowak's treatise on constitutional law. This is a great free resource that you have on Westlaw Advantage that can help you understand some of those tricky amendments in the Constitution, help you class prep and outline and get ready for finals. All right, so there are a couple of ways that you can find databases on Westlaw. So I wanted to highlight a couple of different options for you and then what you can do to save that information onto your password. The first way is always to use the toolbar. If you know the name of the database that you're looking for, you can always just simply type it in the toolbar. So I know that it is called Rotunda. And I don't even have to go any further. There it is as a suggested content page. Rotunda and Nowak's Treatise on Constitutional Law, Substance and Procedure. And so there it is. I can add it to my favorites. I will add it to my 1L class resources. You can see I used it for one of my other schools and their appellate brief assignment, but I am now going to save it to my 1L class resources. So I will have that now saved again. Now, the other way to find secondary sources, such as treatises, is through content types on the middle of your page, and then secondary sources. And if I scroll down to get into the secondary sources by topic or practice area, I can see that there is a constitutional law section. This is also great for you to know if you are researching in a specific practice area. This is a great way to narrow down your secondary sources to find something really topic specific that you might be looking for. Now here I can see all of the secondary sources broken down into practice area. And so there are 134 of them. So it's not too many clicks, about 6, 7 clicks to go through all of these. And I really urge you to take a little bit of time to look through these. You might be doing an appellate brief on a constitutional law topic. So these could be really helpful for you as well as for your con law class. So as I'm going through, I can just kind of look through. I see some desk books, some law review and journals, some trial practice materials, and I'm just kind of going through to see what else is in here besides Rotunda and Nowak's treatise on con law. And I can also see there's something else called modern constitutional law. So that might be another great secondary source that I could use to help me prep. So I will also add that to my 1L class resources, put that there as well. I will go back. And I can kind of keep going through to see through the list if there's anything else that piques my interest that could possibly help me with con law class or an appellate brief or any assignment that I am currently using. There is your Rotunda's Treatise on Con Law, Substance and Procedure. It's a little tricky here because it's skipping the part where it says Rotunda, but I know that that's it. And again, just some other databases that might be useful for you. Just takes me a couple of minutes to go through this list to see anything that might be helpful. Again, just spending a few minutes looking through all of our content might help you save hours and hours of time later struggling through an assignment. So, all right, we are now finished looking through the con law secondary sources. And if I go back up to my links and if I click on view all favorites, I can see all of my favorites. So there is my modern con law and there's my rotundas now also there. I've also added the Constitution. Be sure to check out that video on my channel to find the Constitution. I have that separated out so that it's just a quick little short video. And if I go back to the home page, one thing you will also notice, in addition to my favorites under my links, you can see my Get Started toolbar that is going across my password that is highlighted every time I log in. I've already saved the Constitution onto my Get Started toolbar, but let's say I'm not taking Civ Pro this semester and I want to add one of those secondary sources to my Get Started toolbar. I can look over on my selections and take out the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, click under my favorites, and now I can click where it says Rotunda and Nowak's Treatise on Con Law, move that up if I wanted to put it right next to the Constitution so they're together. Click Save. It'll refresh my screen, and there is the Constitution and Rotunda and Nowak's Treatise on Constitutional Law right here every time I log in. So your favorites can be whatever you want. You saw my favorites that I had, all my class resources. I had several by schools or by assignments. And then once you have your favorites set up, you can interchange those anytime you wish. Your password is your password to mix and match your databases at any time by each semester, class, project, by using the gear icon over on the right and utilizing your favorites. So that is how to find secondary sources to help you with con law this semester. I hope that was helpful and have a great semester.